I'm back, guys. It's Tuesday night. We got the first four tonight. We got the World Baseball Classic Championship tonight. And I'm angry. I got the old dirty hat JB Ellis on because I am angry. I'm heated. First of all, let's start with the basics. NBA, you're no fun. Have your Magic City night in Atlanta. Who cares? Get over it. You announced it, then you cancel it. This isn't the NFL. Have the Magic City night. Who cares? All right, let's move on. Let's get on to the thing that heats me. Val Ackerman, where are you? You are the commissioner of the Big East. Your conference just got screwed. So St. John's won the regular season and the Big East Championship tournament. They beat Connecticut by 20. They lost by 34 or 32 in the regular season. UConn gets a 2 seed. Okay, that's fine. They had a great out of conference schedule. No complaints there. St. John's gets a 5. I get it. They were awful at the beginning of the year out of conference. Did win 19 out of the last 20. I thought they should have been a 4, but I'm okay with the 5. I accept that. No issues whatsoever. My issue is, how dare the NCAA send UConn and St. John's in the same bracket, in the same region in the East. But not only is St. John's in the East, we're going to open up on Friday night all the way out west in San Diego. You won your tournament, beat a number 2 seed, and now you're going to fly all the way to San Diego because we have the pod system so teams can play close to home. We're going to send this team all the way out to San Diego across the country. And not only are we sending, St. John's, we're going to send LIU, who's also in Brooklyn, all the way out there. And then we're going to send Villanova, who's in Philadelphia, all the way out to San Diego because we have the pod system so teams can play close to home. Kind of garbage is this, NCAA? And Val Ackerman, where are you? I haven't heard squat from you. You have your 2 best teams ranked number 2 in the East region and ranked number 5 in the East region. And they're both in the same region. It's absurd. It's just ridiculous. Why have I not heard a word from you? With Florida State didn't get into the college football playoffs a couple of years ago, the ACC commissioner, we heard from him that day. We heard from him the next day. Val Ackerman, where are you? You're a basketball league. Yes, the Big East was not the Big East of old this year, but you have your 2 best teams in the same region, which is horrible. And there was no reason for it. And then on top of that, for winning the conference tournament, you're sending them all the way out west to San Diego. Just absurd. Ridiculous. And the region itself, Duke is the number 1 seed of the whole tournament. For Duke to win that region, they have to beat a ridiculous murderer's row of teams. And they have injury issues. So I don't even know if that's going to happen. I don't think St. John's was a Final Four team to begin with this year, but I don't want to be in the same region as UConn if we happen to go on a run. I don't want to see version number 4 of it. That's ridiculous. Judge here, get in here because I'm just done.
Yeah, baby. JB, it's time for you to acknowledge us. Who are the reigning champions? Oh, that's right, the 1 seed. We didn't win our conference. It doesn't matter. You tried to trash talk the other day because Vanderbilt beat us. I mean, we don't care. We didn't care about that. We already knew we were going to be a 1 seed. While you're fighting your heart out to be a 5 seed or something, nobody cares.
Seeding doesn't matter. We're going to win a couple of games.
He's going to run into us. We're going to knock them off. We're the reigning champs for a reason. Way better team than St. John's. Nobody cares that St. John's or LIU, some team from Brooklyn, nobody cares about, has to go across the country because they're going to get waxed right out of the tournament anyway. All anybody cares about is Florida. Florida's the best team. We're a 1 seed for a reason, JB. You talk about St. John's and the Big East. Nobody cares about the Big East. That's why. Like you said, nobody, we should have this Magic Mike night or whatever it is for Atlanta. Well, JB, kids kind of go to the games. So that's why you don't have that. I don't understand how Atlanta didn't understand that kids go to games and you can't really have a strip club night at a family-oriented, game.
It's Atlanta. They can do whatever they want.
No,
But
you can't because you have kids there. You can't do
then you don't
stuff like that. It's just
then
stupid.
you don't wait
Even
till the last
WWE
minute
because
to do it, John. It was disgusting. If you're
it,
gonna stop it, listen, it was talked about for a
it
week
never should have
before it
been
was stopped.
greenlit. They should have never greenlighted the thing. That was just
And that's
dumb.
perfectly fine. You don't wait a week, 2 weeks till after it was announced. I knew about it for about 2 weeks before it got canceled. So if it was good enough to be canceled, it should have been canceled as soon as it was announced because there's no reason it should have taken that long.
But
All
anyway,
right.
Florida's a 1 seed. You guys aren't. You can cry all you want.
Oh, I don't want to be a
I
1
guess
seed.
this is your excuse for
We're a
whenever
We're a
Big
4 or
East
5 seed. That the
leads.
seeding isn't the issue. The issue is you don't put there's 3 teams from the conference in the tournament. You don't put them all in the 2 in the same region. That's asinine. Let's bring Jay in because Jay's going to be our third tonight. Dave is traveling. He had his event yesterday.
Local
Dave,
Houston
get some rest.
fan. I know he's a fan of the Houston college basketball team, so he's probably happy they're doing well.
Yeah, they're doing okay. Well, to address the whole Magic night, it was just a bad idea to begin with. And I say this because right now there's a bit of right now is the final week of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and there's been a bit of controversy because some of the people around there are walking around there in undesirable clothing, and there's kids around and things like that. So Magic City should have never been greenlit in the first place. Atlanta, I understand it's a staple culture of your city, but it's a strip club. Leave strip club things in the strip club. Okay?
Exactly.
Bottom line. As far as the conference thing goes, now what doesn't make sense is because I don't know. I guess if you're in the East region, you should be first and second round games, or at least until the regional final. Play them in the East. So why it wasn't held in New York City, like Boston, or even North Carolina?
There are sites all over the country, but the East part of the East region is being played at San Diego, Jack, because we have a pod system now, which is fine. But you did this because you want teams to be close to home. So you're sending the 3 teams I just said. If Villanova's out of the East, I'm not even sure what bracket they're in, but you did this so that they could be close to home.
I mean, nobody cares about the Big East, JB. Let's just be honest. Nobody cares. I mean, maybe UConn, obviously, because they're a 1 seed, but nobody cares about those other teams because they're not winning it. Like you said, St. John's will get to the Sweet 16 and they'll get knocked out. And ultimately, it'll come down to teams like Florida that are in the Final Four, and then this conversation will be moot, And then you can praise Florida whenever we're back-to-back champs, just like we did years ago.
But, John, it goes to show that the NCAA is full of crap. It's because the Big East is a Fox league, not a CBS, ESPN league, that they don't get the same respect. It's bogus. I don't really care if they would just admit it, admit that, there's a bias, and we move on.
I mean, that's like the NFL admitting the refs are a problem.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to is like with the whole pod system. If the name of the game was to have, the first and second rounds play close to the region, then it makes no sense to send them to San Diego. Again, you could have had it in Boston, New York, hell, even Miami or something like that. But I mean, shoot, to have them go to like San Diego, that doesn't make any sense. We already question how some teams end up in some regions in the first place. Like, okay, what is Arizona doing in the Midwest? They're not. They're in the West this year. But but now with this whole pod system, it's like, all right, we're going to have the teams play closer to the region that they're from. Let's have some of the games in San Diego.
Remember the NFL playoffs, where the Niners played on Sunday? They played on Sunday against the Eagles. And then 6 days later, they're playing a 1 seed in the Seahawks. After they go meet the Eagles, they got to go all the way to Seattle, fly back across country, and in 6 days.
But that's a standard setup in the
no, it's not.
In the NFL playoffs, the seeding in the games are basically set on days. We already know what that's happening.
No, but you shouldn't
The NCAA
play on a
tournament,
short week in a playoff game in the NFL. You shouldn't play on a short week.
That's the way it has to be, unfortunately, when they have a Monday game. It's stupid, but those are the rules, and that's the way the games are set up.
Same thing with NCAA.
No, this is completely subjective. There's 5 guys in a room, or 5 men and women, in a room that are, picking where teams go based on whatever they need to do. And if you're going to tell me, I'm not even going to argue the seeding because I'll take the 5 seed. Like I said, they stunk when they needed to win games against really good teams at the beginning of the year, and they've gotten better as the year went on. So I'll accept the 5 seed. I'm not going to complain about that. I believe a 4. Patino said a 5, so I'm gonna trust him. He knows college basketball better than me.
Just a little bit.
But, at the same time, their reward for winning their conference and beating a 2 seed is let's send them to San Diego, all the way across the country, and play in the same conference, the same region, as the team they just beat in the same conference when you only have 3 teams from the conference in the tournament. It's backwards. There's no reason why you would hamper the Big East. Right. And again, I don't think both teams, I don't think either one is going to make the Final Four right now. But now you're saying that the 2 best chances you have, one of them can't make it, obviously, because they're going to have to play each other in the Elite 8 to go to the Final Four. So it's, it's absurd. There's no reason for that. Val Ackerman needs to step up and say that this doesn't make sense. And it's not cool. But let's get
not every team is going to get to play close to home. Like, not every team gets to.
And I can live with the not playing close to home. That part I can deal with. To me, what irritates me more than anything is that you have UConn and St. John's in the same region. They're the 2 best teams from the Big East. St. John's, which is the 5 seed, won the conference and the tournament. Why would you put them into the same bracket, into the same region? It's a horrible seeding system. Whoever thought of that and said that's a good idea, they don't know what they're doing. There's no reason for it. You have no SEC teams in that region whatsoever. Do you have how many in the tournament? You could have moved UConn with any of the other 2s. You have Missouri, I believe who it is, who's playing in St. Louis, and they're a 6 seed. I don't understand why they have a home game. Houston, if they make the region, if they make the Final Four, they have a home game. Which,
well, I mean, if anybody should be
the Elite 8, they'll have a home game. I don't care about that. If anybody
should be angry, it should be Miami of Ohio. Like, they were one of the last 4 teams in, which is just insane, JB. If anybody should be angry, it should be them. I mean, they lost 1 game. That was in their conference tournament. That was 1 game all year, and they barely get in. You win 30 plus games and you barely get in.
I haven't even got into that, John.
Right.
What pisses me off more about that, they're playing in the play-in. Are they not?
Bruce Pearl was talking about how Auburn should have got in with 17 wins.
Right.
I mean, Miami of Ohio almost has double the wins. And you could say, yeah, their schedule's not very good. But if you go and look at the report, they tried to schedule 20 different teams, really good to great teams, and they all denied them. 20 different teams. They tried.
It's absurd.
So it's not Miami of Ohio's fault.
This team went, I think, 31-1, if I'm correct.
For having a bad schedule, it's not their fault.
John, 31-1, and they had the nerve to sit there on national TV. Bruce Pearl, who's not biased at all, that he was the coach of Auburn, and his son's the coach now. Gee, I think Auburn should have made it, and not Miami of Ohio.
17 wins, what, 17?
Get out of here. You see how red I am right now?
Like, barely above 500, and you're like, that team over a 31-win team should get in. A guy, JB, that knows college basketball, that has coached a lot of college basketball in his career, but yet he had the nerve to sit there and say, oh, yeah, this team that has almost double Auburn's amount of wins, they don't deserve to get in. Auburn deserves to get in over them. That's crazy. I mean, like, again, you look at the report, 20 different teams, Ohio State and all them, and they all denied it.
Do you see the redness in my face, how angry this makes me over the stupidity? A team lost 1 game, and there was a conversation, should they not be in the tournament?
And
not even that they have to play in the play-in.
And Miami of Ohio told these teams, not only did they go 31-1, JB, and get denied by 20 teams, 20 good to great teams, but they also told these teams, we'll go to your house, JB. We will go to your house and play you, Ohio State. Kansas, we'll go to your house and play you. They told all these great teams or really good teams, we'll come to your place. You pay us a little bit amount of money, and we'll come play at your place. Like, they didn't even say come to our house, Miami of Ohio. We'll go to your crib, Kansas. We'll go to your crib, Ohio State, and we'll play you. And they all said no. But yet somehow they're knocked for their schedule. You can only play who's in front of you. I mean, the Patriots got to a Super Bowl with a garbage schedule, but you can only play who's in front of you. That's not like the Patriots are like, yeah, take the Dolphins and Jets off the schedule. Yep, definitely. Yeah, you play who you're given, and that's all you really can do.
Yeah, I get that college sports is not like what it used to be, that, we have 10 guys in all the power conferences that started with one school and will graduate at the end of this year. So, that's a lot of kids. We really have 10 that did that. And I'm okay with that. I can live with that. But, here we are playing for the national championship. And we're saying that a team that lost once, who tried to schedule everybody and was told, nah, we don't want to take a chance playing you. So no, thank you. Because their schedule wasn't good enough. Or if you win the conference and you beat a 2 seed, you're going to have to face them again probably to get to the Final Four. And then if you're Duke, you have to worry about Kansas, St. John's, UConn. Who was the other team? There was one other really good team in that region. It's just absurd.
It is. And then, I mean, you can't go and tell me that these teams that are 16 seeds deserve to get in more over Miami of Ohio. Like, you go down and look at all these 16 seeds that are going to get the floor mopped with them in the next couple days. You can't tell me that they deserve it more than Miami of Ohio. Please tell me why they deserve it. I got to add Jay in.
Yeah, so, I mean, go ahead, Jay. We're talking about Miami of Ohio.
First of all, I want to send a huge FU to AT&T. Your internet is trash. Second of all, I never had this problem with Xfinity, but whatever. Second of all, with the I'm sorry, I was catching up on everything. So
we're talking about Miami of Ohio getting screwed, barely getting. Well, they still got to play the first four. They still got to play SMU to get in.
Yeah,
they're not even in.
Play the first four. I will say this much. First of all, I did not like how they said that a team that finished the regular season undefeated, that if they don't win the conference, they were not going to be, or looking at not being let into the NCAA tournament. And now you see it, and it's like, okay, so we'll kind of sort of let you in, but you're in the first four. Bro, they went 31-0. On what planet? They went 31. Yeah, they went 31-0.
They tried to schedule power conference teams, and
they all denied them.
They all said,
and they denied them
over 20 times. They were told, no, thank you. We don't want to play.
And they even said, we'll go to your house to all these teams, and they still said no.
So, I mean, how can you deny? What more can they do? What would you, NCAA, please, you could send anyone in your organization in the upper levels on this show next week, the week after, before the Final Four, to answer that question. What more can Miami of Ohio have done besides not losing the tournament, which, a lot of teams lost in their conference tournament and are in the tournament right now.
Right.
So, I mean, and you can't fault the team when people don't want to play them.
Yeah, that, and then on top of that, and imagine the outcry if Miami of Ohio would have gotten left out of the tournament entirely because they lost in their conference tournament. But this 16-win Big Ten team, they get in.
So, Jay, imagine, your mom is the reviewer of all sports shows, right?
Right.
And, some guy picks I don't know, ESPN over us, and your mom on national TV can't believe that Sideline Sports wasn't picked, how biased does that sound?
That that sounds that sounds terribly biased, But the funny part about it is, when it comes to college sports, it is so obvious. Like, okay, and even though I'm, I favor the Longhorns and John favors the Florida Gators, but we are still mature and grown enough and objective enough to acknowledge that there's SEC bias among those guys over there at ESPN. I ain't gonna say the real name, but over there at ESPN, you know who I'm talking about?
4-letter network.
Yeah, that 4-letter network. But this type of bias happens constantly. It's about money at the end of the day, and it's so. And just like you guys said, they tried to schedule the bigger schools. The bigger schools were like, nah.
Well, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? The crazy part about that is the same thing happens in college football. You'll get some of the bigger schools who will deny playing a smaller school because that smaller school could beat them. Why do you think Alabama plays Mercer all the time? Because they can beat Mercer. They know there's no place on the planet that Mercer's going to beat Alabama. Why do you think LSU plays Townsend all the time? Because they know they can beat Townsend. There's no place on the planet where Townsend can beat LSU.
They can beat them with their eyes closed.
It's absurd. College sports is like an alternate reality. And I mean, the fact that, you have Bruce Pearl arguing for his son on CBS on Selection Sunday. You got St. John's in the same region as UConn. And again, seeding, I don't care. I'll take a 5. I'll take a 4. That's semantics. You're still going to win the games. But when it's all said and done, if they happen to win out, because St. John's should beat Kansas in the second round.
Yeah, Duke, they should beat them.
If by a miracle Duke has got some injuries, if St. John's by a miracle beats them, they then have to play UConn probably the 4th time. Does anyone in America really want to watch a 4th version of that game?
Also, Penn is playing Illinois Thursday. Penn is a 14 seed. Penn went 18-11. Now they lost 10 more games. 10 more games than Miami of Ohio.
They won their conference.
They won 13 less games. They only won 18. All the other teams you look at won 20, 21, games.
I think Penn's in there because they won their conference.
No, I'm just saying, if you can justify, and don't tell me because they won their conference, because Florida's a 1 seed and they didn't win their conference.
Yeah, but there's automatic qualifiers, Sean. Like St. John's, no matter what. St. John's could have been 1-19 the whole year if they won the Big East tournament.
But I'm telling you, how can you look at something and say, yeah, Penn deserves to be a 14 seed, and in the tournament, bar none, they went 18-11. That's like a team. That's like a team in college football losing 5 games and they still get in the college.
And they still get in, yeah.
But yet undefeated like James Madison or something, they go undefeated and you're like, you know what? Yeah. I'd rather have Auburn with 5 losses.
But that's what makes college basketball different, John, because every league has automatic qualifiers.
No, I understand that.
But you can have these weird teams. There is no logic. There's no logic.
Miami of Ohio's has to scratch and claw because he went 31-1.
John, there's no logic to it. That you're not going to get logic as to how you First of all, the whole first 4 is absurd. The first stupid. 4, if you're going to do 68, you know who the teams playing the 4 games should be? It should be the last 4 of the teams that were brought in at large. So, not automatic qualifiers. If you qualified by winning your conference, you should get a pass to play on Thursday or Friday in the first round.
I mean, look at this, JB. What Wednesday night at like 9:30 at night, Miami of Ohio and SMU to play to get into the playoff or into the tournament. And then Friday at 4:25, they got to play Tennessee. Less than 48 hours later, you got to travel and go and play in the tournament. Less than 48 hours later,
It's the stupidest thing in the world.
Like, that's dumb. How can you play 2 days before to get in? You know what I mean? Like, that's just
it's a horrible system. There should not be a first four. It should be 64 teams, or if you want to expand, you go to where it's an even number and you have another round, because this is absurd.
See, now you got me heated. I wasn't heated.
John, from Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern till now, I've been holding this in. I haven't even really gotten a rant on X because everyone says, oh, you're a St. John's fan, you're upset. No. It has nothing to do with St. John's. It's a conference thing. You don't have the two best teams from the conference when the lower seeded one won 2 out of 3 times and the conference tournament. You don't put them in the same seed with a 2 seed from the same conference. So you have 3 teams. Now, if it was the SEC, completely different. They have how many teams in there? Like 11 or 9?
In the field, like 11.
So, okay, that makes sense. You got to put teams wherever you got to put them. But coincidentally, there's none in the East. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, it's a horrible job. You know, I'm bothered by it.
I mean, it's SEC. They're always going to get, they're always going to get a benefit of the doubt. You win 19, 20 games, you're basically a shoo-in.
You basically win.
You're an SEC team. You're basically a shoo-in. That counts more for, than teams winning 28 games that nobody really knows about. It's dumb.
It really is. It's just, I really think that CBS did a horrible job asking the head of the committee questions afterwards. Val Ackerman, I don't know how many times I could say this. I don't know where you are. When Florida State got shafted in the college football playoffs, I heard from the ACC commissioner. There was loud and clear on ESPN, what's going on? This doesn't make sense, But Val Ackerman, all you have is basketball. So you can't be on vacation right now. It's your time of year, In the SEC, they got football. Basketball's like the second sport. Who cares? But in the Big East, this is it. This is our time. And our commissioner, I don't know where she is. And it's sad because we have more championships over the last, I think, 12 or 14 years than any other conference. All right, let's take a break, and then we're going to do some quick hits because I'm just getting heated.
We pretty much just ran through the first topic already, but hey,
quick hits.
Thanks. Here's a commercial. We'll be right back in 41
Sideline
seconds.
Sports live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's not a great league, the American League. The National League is far and away better.
I know we have those 4 games in
our
our
John, I'm going to stop you there. The Orioles haven't gotten to the World Series.
No, I'm just saying, if you're a fan of any team, Cam Newton's always.
Oh my gosh, you just say that name and I know something stupid's coming there.
8,000 points a game. What is Dragon Ball Z's in the WNBA now?
It's in a dog pile.
Stuff happens in the bottom of that pile. You don't even want to know about. You get spit on, you get poked, you get poked in the eye, in the ear.
Yeah.
You get, yes.
He's not a leader. He's a child. Go play on your burner account and go have fun. All right, we're back. We're going to do the late version of Quick Hits at almost the 30-minute mark. Again, if you're watching us and not watching the World Baseball Classic or the fake First Four, we appreciate it. And if you're watching us tomorrow because you're watching one of the other 2 things, I get it. I'm a sports fan too, but I'd rather watch us because, America, the U.S., why we're in the championship game, I don't even get. And we'll talk about that. We're going to get to the World Baseball Classic.
We're the best team in the world, baby.
All right.
Let's get to Quick Hits 30 minutes in. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle traded to the Broncos for a first, third, and fourth round pick. Was this a good trade? John, you're the Dolphins expert on the panel. What do you think?
It was a good trade for both sides because the Broncos give up basically an early second round pick, 30th overall. They get a better fourth round pick, and then they give up a third. That's really not a bad deal. And the Dolphins have to pay a lot of dead cap from Jalen Waddle. I believe it's $26 million dead cap, 2026. So they're paying a lot of the money. And the only problem with Jalen Waddle as a Dolphins fan, and I say this all the time, even before the trade, he doesn't miss games. He gets hurt during games. So whenever you need him most, he'll get hurt. He'll get poked in the eye. He'll stub his toe. He'll make a big play, and you're like all excited, and then he'll be rolling on the ground hurt. Like, that's the problem with Jalen Waddle. It's been his entire NFL career. Is like whenever you finally feel good about Jalen Waddle, he gets hurt in mid game, but he won't miss games. He's just going to be out for a couple series or a couple quarters, and then he'll come back, or he might not come back because that's Jalen Waddle. But man, when he's on, he's a really good tier 2 receiver. And I think the Broncos had to do this. Like I said, 30th overall pick. It's not like you're giving up the 12th pick in the draft, you know? You get a better 4th, you give up a 3rd. So for a late 1st and a late late 3rd, it's really not that big a haul. Good trade for the Dolphins as well. They had to do this. The only thing I don't understand, guys, the only thing I don't get, and I said this at work, and I'll continue to say it, is why would you sign Malik Willis to a giant-ass contract, $45 million guaranteed, when you're in a rebuild? Like, if you're going to be in a rebuild and trade away Jalen Waddle, then embrace the rebuild. Don't sign a guy for 3 years and $45 million guaranteed when next year Arch Manning probably is going to be your quarterback, and then you have two Texas quarterbacks on the roster, Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. While paying Malik Willis $67 million, you know, and you have a lot of cap. No, wait, JB, I'm not done because this is important to me. You either embrace the rebuild or you do what you did with Malik Willis and you keep Jalen Waddle, because poor Malik Willis, who's getting paid, which is great, he doesn't have anybody to throw to now. It's one of the worst wide receiver rooms we've ever seen in our lives. It's horrible. Like, there's nothing there. So what the Dolphins are doing is like, we're kind of embracing the rebuild, but we're kind of not. And we're pulling in 2 different directions. And this has been my entire life as a Dolphins fan. And they just continue to do Browns things, Jets things, Raiders things. And it makes no sense. Good trade, but the Dolphins are moving in a couple different directions, and it makes no sense. So we'll be really bad, you know. Go on.
So a couple of things to great trade. There was no reason to keep Waddle.
No, but you're not going to sign Malik Willis to that deal.
Yeah, they got fair equity for it. As far as Malik Willis goes, I don't get signing him. I get his pay structure. What he's getting paid is pretty much on average for what he's done in his career. He's not getting a king's ransom. You know, they're kind of, you know, in that where you say in tank for Arch mode. I don't know. I think good move in this respect. Willis is, to me, doesn't make a difference. I think it doesn't hurt or help them. I don't see why they did it. I think Jay is frozen.
And he's just as stunned by this as anybody else, you know?
Yeah, Jay is gone. Jay's having internet issues.
I mean, I think JB, I think they got more than they should have got for Jalen Waddle.
Oh, that's what in that respect, it was a great trade.
Yeah. I if it was me, and if Max Crosby gets 2 first-round picks, fetches, then Jalen Waddle should not fetch a 1st and a 3rd. Like, he should fetch like maybe just a straight up 2nd. Or a 3rd and a 4th, but a 1st and a 3rd, and then you're just swapping 4ths. To me,
that's an amazing deal.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins fleeced them.
Yeah, exactly. Jay, what's your thoughts?
Actually, I actually thought it was a pretty good trade. Now, I do agree with John, because I don't know exactly what they're doing here, and like you said, you're a quarterback away from you guys being hook 'em fins, you know. But obviously, he's going to be the number 1 option for the Denver Broncos. They really didn't have a true number 1. I'm not mad at the addition. And what are you going to do with Malik Willis? Because again, you sign him to this giant contract, but then you give away like his weapons. Now, I still have Devon A-Chain, you know. Now it's really going to be a problem if you move him. But no, overall, I thought it was a pretty decent trade. You're not giving up the farm or anything like that. Like John said, it's a lower round first rounder and then a third and a fourth. Jalen Waddle. And you know what? Who knows? Because Tua and Jalen had been together since their college days. It may have been him that said, hey, man, can you move me to a contender? So there's always that as well. But obviously they're in the rebuild. Given the contract that Malik Willis got, I'm guessing he's going to be the man next year. It just depends on if he's going to be the man moving forward, because there's also that kid coming out of Oregon after next year also who's pretty good. So this may be like kind of a prove-it year for Malik Willis. But as far as the trade, I was decent with the trade.
Yeah, I don't think Malik Willis is any part of the Dolphins' future. I just think that they wanted something better than they had in Ewers to start. And Malik Willis got paid on average, what a low-end starter would get. What's number 2? Shortstop Juan Soto still calls Dominican Republic best team in baseball despite World Baseball Classic loss to USA. Was this out of order?
Well, I'm going to say it's out of order. He's not a shortstop.
Yeah, that was confusing me. I'm SS.
Yeah. I don't know what Jay's thinking there.
I mean, maybe he's a ship. The SS Juan Soto. Sail away. Sail away.
Yeah, that was my bet on that one.
But
I'm reading. That's why I was reading it like I was a little special.
JB, how was he calling them the best team in baseball? Like, they lost. They got beat. You're not the best team. Clearly, you got your bats shut down by better pitching. So if you were the best team, you would have been able to beat the United States. Like Canada crying, saying, we're better than the United States in hockey, even though they beat us. Well, guess what? They beat you. So clearly, that's not the case in hockey. And clearly, in baseball, that's not the case. Teams just don't like the USA beating them. I get that must be it. Because if Italy would have went and beat them, I guarantee Juan Soto wouldn't have said that.
Jay?
This, I think I was doing two things at once. No, he's not a shortstop, guys. He's an outfielder. But this actually reminds me of immediately after the 2006 Rose Bowl National Championship game when Texas beat USC. They interviewed Matt Leinart on the field, and he said, I still believe we are the better team. He got smoked behind that statement because it's like, how can you say you were the better team and Texas beat you?
But that game, but Jay, that game could have went either way. Like, that was like one of the best games in the history of college football, and that, you know what I mean? Like, That was one of the best games ever. That could have went either way. Whereas in this game, Dominican Republic bats got completely stifled. Right. Completely stifled. They weren't even close.
So let me know when I can go, because I'm about to be heated yet again for the second time tonight. And again, I'm the calm host, guys. If this is your first time, I'm the one that's usually chill, relaxed. Juan Soto could shut the heck up. Okay? When he was with the Yankees a couple of years back, he hit a home run in Seattle. And instead of saying, and that was, he now had the cycle of every park he hit a home run. So what does the genius say to the newspapers? This will be really good for my free agency. This was in September when the Yankees were in a pennant race. Then he goes to across the city over the bridge to Citi Field and gets booed by Mets fans for lack of hustle and has an okay year with the Mets. So obviously, I really don't care what Juan Soto says. May he earn every dollar that he's going to get paid. But glad you ain't playing for Team America. Glad you lost. Hope you lose every game you ever play. Wish you the best, buddy. Feel like I said that a lot today. If you haven't heard it yet from me today, wish you the best. Anyway, listen, they lost. It sucks. It's part of life. I don't think the U.S. is the best team in the tournament. They got to the championship. They'll probably win tonight. It is what it is. I've been saying the whole tournament, I didn't think they were going to win, but they're probably going to now. I'm going to have to do what I did with that quarterback guy. When I want to mention his name, Matthew Stafford, who I had to say when he won the Super Bowl.
Hall of Famer.
Great job. All right.
Gotta give us flowers, though.
What film did you watch in your life that taught you a huge life lesson? Jay, you can start with this one.
My favorite film on the planet, Menace to Society. There's a line that Kane is actually, because he's narrating the film, and there's a line where he says, as he's dying, "I've done too much to turn back, and I've done too much to go on." And that's a life lesson.
Oh, there he goes again. That's a life lesson.
Listen, whoever's in Houston in charge of internet, can we get Denzel Snipes some good internet out there? I mean, Houston's a major city last time I checked. I mean, you have garbage cans, obviously, according to my guy who plays.
I'm here. Did y'all?
They got beat by
I'm
Florida
here. Did y'all get that
in the NCAA tournament? I'm just saying.
Go ahead,
this is what it is. Okay, I don't know how much y'all caught of that, but so with the line, you guys caught the line, right, from Menace to Society?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically all it was saying to me was you have to watch how you conduct yourself in life, because there is a such thing as you do so much bad in your past that you run out of chances in life.
Yep.
And you've done too much to go on. So it was a lesson to just watch how you conduct yourself, because there are a lot of people walking around who think they have unlimited chances. They could do whatever they want. Certain people with certain events going on right now that we won't get into, but some people think that they're immune to some people think they're immune to the trials and tribulations of life. And that line right there really taught me, like, hey, you got to watch how you conduct yourself, because you don't want to be that old man that's run out of chances.
John?
Now, one of my favorite non-comedies, because I'm a comedy guy, so I love comedies. One of my favorite drama movies, if you ever saw with Haley Joel Osment and Kevin Spacey, was called Pay It Forward. And if you never saw, it's a great movie. It's about this kid that learns what paying it forward to other people is, and he sees how horrible people are to each other, and he's like, I want to change the world. Like, I want to do that. And his teacher's like, you can't change the world. You can't do that. And he challenges him to do something that he knows is not possible. And the kid ends up paying it forward. He ends up changing things in the culture in that school, and just how, like, people see what he does. And he ends up getting killed. Spoiler alert, movies from the mid 2000s. He ends up getting killed, and that kind of shows it, like, brings everything into perspective for everybody about how much good he wanted to do. And us as Sideline Sports people that love philanthropy and love helping other people, that movie resonated with me. So I always try and treat people with respect. I try and help other people and be selfless and think of others first, put others first. And whether it's a big or small thing, that's something I've always valued personally, not just from that movie, but in general in life is how you treat people matters.
Yes.
What you say to people matters. You may say something good or bad, and you may not see it in that one moment, but it could affect them a day down the line. It could affect them in their mind, and you don't even know it. Just how you treat people, how you go about your business, and things like that. It really does matter. So always try to think of others in a good way and treat people with kindness and have respect for other people, because you just don't know what people got going on, what they're going through. And that's something that's always been important to me, JB.
Sounds good.
That's cool. So I'm not going to give one movie. I'm going to say in general sports movies. Because 99%.
Oh, that's a come on, give us a movie.
Hang on, because I'm not thinking about a particular movie right now. But 99% of sports movies, you have a team that's getting beat down. It's generally the same story. They're underdogs for any particular number of reasons, and they usually don't quit. They fight hard and they figure out a way to win. Not that I could think of any situation in the world that we can't talk about today, but, I can think a lot about that. And I think we've all learned about that over our course of our lives, because if you don't give up and you work hard, you could still come out on top. whether it be sports, life, whatever. We're all underdogs in different ways. Just to think about where we are today, any person, how many pieces of our body, how many thousands cells and hundreds of thousands of cells all have to be working in the same unison to be where we are and to be here we are as perfect as we are. I mean, it's just amazing. We're all underdogs in some ways. So
JB, my favorite basketball movie, and partially because it's based on a true story, my favorite basketball movie has always been Coach Carter.
Great movie.
I love that movie. It's always been my favorite basketball movie. So if you're asking for one sports movie, I would say Coach Carter. It's just the lessons in that movie are just, so good.
There's tons. And I mean, but just in general, the whole genre of sports movies, the underdog works hard and finds a way to overcome and win.
But I like the ones that are based on a true story.
Oh, I agree. Those are always more fun.
Yeah.
Those are always more fun. And that's been the thing over the last 15 years. They've tried to find a lot of stories like that. And they're always interesting.
Can I also throw another one out there? And I know it's
nobody wants to hear from me
but
anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear
Remember the Titans, man.
That's one of the
Remember
best
the Titans because coexisting with people that may look different than you. Jay's black, I'm white. That doesn't mean anything to me. Because I don't see Jay like that. I just see Jay as a brother. And so that movie means a lot to me because, if you really watch that movie, it's all about that. It's all about, and I teach my kids that same thing. I tell my kids the same thing. Hey, somebody may look different than you. They may be black. You're white. That does not matter because you know what? As different as you may think or they sound or look or whatever, you may be just as different to them. So always treat them no matter what they look like, sound like, no matter how heavy, tall, short they may be. I always tell them that does not matter. You treat them with kindness and respect. You don't treat them for what they look or sound like. I always teach my kids. Without a doubt. So that's why I love Remember the Titans because
That's another great movie, Tasha. A Bronx Tale, one of my favorites. And I couldn't think of that one. I also love when Sonny goes to Cologino. The working man's a sucker. It's a great line. Classic. And you only get 3 great ones. Remember that from A Bronx Tale. Remember The Test. Great movie. And don't breathe on the dice. Get out of here. John, I'm going to lock you in the bathroom while I'm throwing the dice, okay? I don't want you breathing on these dice.
I never lose that dice. Never.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and wrap up with a little World Baseball Classic. We'll be back after this.
Sideline Sports live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Kilton Clark is Larry Bird, I would say, and Paige Beckers is Magic Johnson.
It's kind of like an oxymoron,
Yeah, moron is right.
When they listen to people like you, that's how they continue being the Browns.
They did have that type of talent for the pro level, but the scouts failed the team.
I disagree. The Panthers, I'm not saying they're making the playoffs, but they're going to be really hard to beat this year. Bryce Young,
so they're not winning the division. Hooked up with some chick, and then he told her he was a linebacker.
All right, we're back, and I'm going to try and end the show nice and calm, normal JB-like fashion because I don't usually get hyped up. So I think it was Deb the other day who said,
doing it again. All right, I've had it.
All right, Jay, we hear you. Jay is having all sorts of issues.
He's really upset that the USA is losing to Venezuela.
Let's go Venezuela. Make me look like I'm a genius.
Why? I mean, nothing's going to make you look like a genius.
I said they would have win it. If they don't win it, I'm right.
So you got to be right. You got to have your country, the entire country, lose just so JB could be right.
Our country didn't lose. The guys play a baseball.
This is our country.
John,
USA.
It's a baseball game, John. It's a sport.
USA Baseball is representing the country. That is our country losing.
John, they're baseball players.
Right.
John, they don't make a difference in my life.
2-0. They just hit a home run.
John, Mickey Mantle don't care about you, John. Mickey Mantle don't care about you.
He doesn't have to care about me, but this is our country. We won hockey. Now we need to
Aaron-
win baseball.
Listen, Aaron Judge don't care about me, bro. It's okay. He'll survive if he loses. It's all good. But
Much better when I move to another room. All right, what we got?
Jay's going to be down in the corner doing the show in about 5 minutes.
Venezuela just hit a home run, start 2-0.
Yeah,
I was
2-0.
I was just saying I'm going to take the next 10 minutes of our show and go back to classic JB and relax a little bit because the show had me, quite crazy. But Jay doing the show from the corner next week, just so you know, make sure you go check him out. So the U.S. against Venezuela, the World Baseball Classic final. Who takes home the crown? Right now, Venezuela's up 2-0, thanks to those who told us. I'm watching that like I'm watching the first four. It ain't going to happen because it ain't real. The World Baseball Classic is the wrong time of year. Pitchers can't pitch deep into games. We're not seeing guys at their best. MLB needs to figure this out and go to an NHL-style format. It's a great idea. Wrong time of year. It'd be fun. I honestly, from the little bit I've seen, it looks like it's been a great tournament. I know a lot of people are into it, and good for you. I'm glad you got some enjoyment in it.
I don't know what you're saying, JB, about these players aren't at their best. I mean, Bryce Harper's hitting 154. I would say he's at his best.
John, the pitchers aren't going deep enough into games. It's not real. When you got Skubal who pitched how many innings, Skeens can't go to 7-8 innings. It's just bad. It's exhibition, John.
I mean,
it doesn't
Byron
mean
Buxton
anything.
Doesn't have a hit this entire tournament. Bregman's hitting 154. Like these
All right,
guys are in mid-season.
In all seriousness, right? If you're in charge of USA Baseball right now, going back to the original section of the games, the round robin tournament, when DeRosa thought that they were already qualified and they weren't, do you get rid of him for that, John?
Oh, 100%. I would have fired him on the spot. I would have sent him to Venezuela so that way he can not be part of Team USA.
Yeah, I think you have to go at that point because if you don't know what it takes to qualify, you might as well play in the NCAA tournament or the college football playoff because that, at least, we don't know what it takes. But, Jay, what's your thoughts on Mark DeRosa? Should he be let go because of the whole debacle where he wasn't sure that what they needed to do to clinch to get into the second round or the knockout stage? Can't hear you, Jay.
You're muted, Jay.
My bad. Okay. So it kind of helps knowing the rules. You know what this kind of reminds me of? This reminds me of
DJ Stroud in the playoffs? Oh,
no, at least he knew the rules. But look, this kind of reminds me of the time when Donovan McNabb who didn't know that there were ties in the NFL?
Yes.
Your best friend, JB, him.
Hey,
Donovan
listen, me and Donovan go way back.
Yeah, so you have to kind of know the rules going in. Like, how do you not know how the tournament works? You know that you play 4 games in the pool stage, and the top 2 advance to the knockout stage, and then from there it's single elimination. It's actually much simpler than people think. I know this is like a 2-week tournament, but even still, you're supposed to know this coming in. This is that type of tournament. So yeah, the 2 best in the pool advance to go to the quarterfinals and semifinals and then the championship game. But you're supposed to know this. I mean, this is just like when it's, I didn't know that there were ties in the NFL. You know how stupid he sounded, at the time. But yeah, you're just supposed to know.
Listen, my best friend. I mean, why are you going to talk about my best friend like that? What the nerve of you?
The guy that threw up in the middle of the Super Bowl.
Yak, John. It's okay. Listen, other people will step on it. It's okay. It's not him. Leave Donovan alone. The nerve of you guys.
But as of right now, it is 2-0. Venezuela.
What inning?
It's top of the 5th inning. So it's not over with yet. The United States could still mount a comeback here, but they've got to get something going. One thing that I did notice about and going back to the whole Juan Soto thing, is the pitching really shut down the Dominican Republic bats. And I said that going into the game. I said that they had to slow the bats down and then do just enough to win because, John, we talked about it. If DR gets going, when it rains, it pours. They blow teams out, you know? And so that's exactly what happened. You had a leadoff homer, and then that was it. Literally, that was all. United States hits two of them, and it's 2-1. But no, honestly, this has been I thought it was a very exciting World Baseball Classic. Is it just me, or were there Americans kind of spread throughout all teams? Because I'm seeing a lot of American-looking and American-born players playing for somebody else, and it's like, so like my cousin's baby daddy, she's Italian. Oh, sure, you can come over here and play. You
have your choice. There's rules for what makes you qualify for a country, and I'm not going to say I'm an expert at it until the MLB figures out how to put this on at a time where pitchers are at full strength. I have no interest in watching exhibition games. It's stupid. It doesn't mean anything. You show me this, you play it at the All-Star break, I'll watch every game. It'll be a classic.
Right.
You play it before pitchers are ready, it's a waste. It's stupid. And Mark DeRosa don't even know the rules, and he's the manager. So why not have us three manage? I mean, we could do that in our spare time. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Throw him with Val Ackerman. Maybe Val Ackerman could manage USA. And DeRosa could be the Big East Conference commissioner. Maybe they'd be better at each other's jobs. It could be like a Freaky Friday type movie.
Maybe so. I don't know. At this point, between the commissioner, like the Big East commissioner that you ranted about earlier, and the commissioners of the pro, I don't trust any commissioner. I just don't. I don't, because at the end of the day, the bottom line is going to be money, and they're going to screw the people over in order to make a dollar. We've seen this happen for decades and decades, and it just is what it is.
I'm upset that they canceled Magic City at like the last minute.
JB.
Listen, it was a stupid idea to begin with. It should have never been greenlit. But once it went public and it wasn't squashed that day, you lost the high ground. Had you squashed it the first day, you could say, we were never for it as a league. But once you wait a day, you didn't do it because people started complaining. You were okay with it as long as nobody said anything.
I mean, I do have a Star Wars. I do have a Star Wars shirt on, and you said he lost the high ground. So, I really do enjoy that you said that because, like I said, I have a Boba Fett shirt on. It's a Star Wars shirt.
Right or wrong?
You said he lost the high ground, so it made me think of Anakin. So.
But right or wrong, John, they lost all moral superiority.
The moral high ground, of course.
So,
but it wasn't
the point then. But what's the
point
then?
Hawks.
You've already proved you're frauds.
But it wasn't the Hawks that did it.
Proved you're a fraud.
The Hawks were upset that they had to get
right. The NBA heard that the NBA knew it was released that they were having Magic City night. They didn't cancel it that night.
They probably didn't do anything until people were in an uproar.
Right. The NBA never should have greenlit it in the first place, which means they were totally okay with it until there was a backlash, and then they were like, no, you can't do it. But even if they never advertised it, because see, I'm thinking, how are they even going to pull this off? Scantily clad women come out there on the court. You think people won't go to social media?
Yeah, you realize, just so we all know, there's going to be a show on one of the streaming services. The owner's wife is the producer or the executive producer of it. I don't think it's going to be as provocative as actually going to Magic City, but it's going to be, I think, if I'm correct, a series that's going to be going on one of the streaming services, which is why they wanted to go ahead and do this, because it's the owner's wife.
Right.
But at the same time, if you weren't going to kill it day one, NBA, you lost all moral superiority because you showed you caved because of pressure. That's horrible. All right, we're out of time. I got to go relax because these guys, they just wound me up tonight. They never do that. I mean, Jay never winds me up. John tries to, and I've learned how to do it.
Go Gators,
but I wish I wish everyone the best. That's going to be my new line for the year. I wish you guys the best. We could shake hands afterwards, but we'll see you next week. Jay, take us out.
All right. Looks like we've come to the end of another great episode of Sideline Sports. And you all take care and love each other. And we will all see you next week.